My friends, I urge you to awaken to the truth of your being. There is no need to beg, to chase, to write, or to call for that which you desire is already yours. It is not in pleading with the world or running after what you think is missing that your desires will come to pass. Rather, it is in the stillness of your mind, in the quiet conviction that what you seek is already within you, that the real transformation occurs. You must come to the realization that what you desire is not outside of you the power to create, to manifest, and to draw into your life. What you seek lies within your own consciousness. There is no need to beg or chase for what is already yours. For in doing so, you place yourself in the position of the powerless, the seeker, the one who lacks. Yet how can you lack when you are the source of all that you desire? Your inner conviction, the deep and unwavering belief in the truth of your own desires, is the key to unlocking the treasures of life. When you hold within yourself the conviction that your desires are already fulfilled, you align yourself with the very forces that shape your reality. Everything begins with belief. What you believe, you experience. This is the law of your being, the fundamental truth that governs your life. Consider the times when you have doubted yourself, when you have looked at your desires and felt as though they were beyond your reach. In those moments, did you do not feel a sense of lack, a sense of distance between yourself and what you sought? That distance is not real. It is a mirage created by your own thoughts and assumptions. You have been conditioned to believe that effort, struggle, and external action are necessary to achieve your goals. But this is a misunderstanding of the true nature of reality. Everything begins within the world. You see is but a reflection of the world you hold inside your mind. When you shift your inner beliefs, your outer world, must follow. This is why inner conviction is so powerful. It is the foundation upon which all external manifestations rest. To have a strong inner conviction is to hold the feeling of certainty, of absolute knowing that what you desire is already yours. This certainty is not dependent on outer circumstances. It is independent of the evidence presented by your senses. The key to developing this inner conviction lies in your imagination. When you can imagine something with such vividness and feeling that it seems real to you, your subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply responds to the dominant feeling within you. If you imagine yourself as already having that which you seek and you dwell in the feeling of having it, you will begin to notice shifts in your outer world that correspond to this inner state. This process requires faith and patience. You must trust in the unseen forces at work, knowing that the outer manifestation will follow in its own time. There is no need to force or rush the process. For the moment you begin to chase or beg, you affirm that you do not believe your desire is already yours. This undermines the very power of your inner conviction. When you rest in the quiet assurance that what you desire is already on its way, you move through life with a sense of ease and confidence. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself, to convince others, or to seek validation. You are grounded in the truth of your own being, knowing that your inner conviction is the real power that shapes your life. All things must come to you in accordance with the beliefs you hold. Thus, the only effort required is the effort to remain steadfast in your conviction, knowing that the universe must reflect back to you. The truth of your inner world is the foundation upon which your entire reality is built. It is not merely a tool for daydreaming or escaping the present moment. It is the creative force that shapes your world, the unseen architect behind every experience you encounter. What you imagine consistently and with feeling becomes the blueprint for your life. This is not a matter of wishful thinking or idle fantasy. It is a fundamental truth that governs all creation. The external world is simply a reflection of your inner state. What you see, touch, and experience in your daily life is the outpicturing of your deepest beliefs and assumptions, many of which are formed through the power of your imagination. You might believe that circumstances, other people, or fate determine the course of your life. But in truth, the source of all that you experience lies within you. Everything begins in the mind, and the process of creation unfolds from the images and feelings you hold there. Your imagination is not passive, it is alive, creative, and continually at work shaping your destiny. Every thought, every image you dwell on, and every feeling you entertain contributes to the world you see before you. This is why it is so crucial to become conscious of what you imagine, for your imagination will create your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. The moment you allow negative thoughts, fears, or doubts to dominate your mind, you give those very thoughts the power to manifest in your life. When you imagine yourself in possession of your desires, when you feel as though you're already living the life you want, you set into motion forces that begin to bring that imagined state into physical reality. This is not a process of hard work or struggle. You do not need to force things to happen or chase after your goals. Rather, you must align your inner state with the reality you wish to experience by dwelling in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You impress that state upon your subconscious mind, and the world will respond accordingly. Therefore, is not limited to mere visualization. It is the act of assuming that what you desire is already true. When you assume the feeling of your desire, as though it were a present fact, you draw it into your experience. The subconscious mind cannot distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It only knows what you impress upon it with feeling, and it will reproduce that state in your outer world. This is why you must take care to imagine only what you wish to see realized, for whatever you hold in your imagination will eventually take form. Understand that the outer world is not the cause of your circumstances, but the effect. The cause is always within you. In your imagination, the key to changing any aspect of your life is to change the image you hold in your mind. If you wish to experience abundance, health, or love, you must first imagine yourself as already having those things. You must feel the reality of it within, even if the outer world shows no evidence of its existence. This is the secret of creation. The outer world will always conform to the inner state you persistently imagine and feel. Once you grasp this truth, you realize that you are not at the mercy of circumstances or fate. You are the creator of your reality, and your imagination is the tool through which you shape your destiny. Therefore, imagine wisely and imagine boldly, for what you imagine with feeling will inevitably become the reality. You live, self-worth, and detachment are intimately connected, forming the foundation of a powerful and fulfilling life. When you understand your true worth, you no longer feel the need to chase, beg, or seek validation from others. You realize that your value is inherent and not dependent on external approval or circumstances. This awareness leads to a natural state of detachment, where you are no longer emotionally entangled in the outcome of your desires. You know that you deserve the best, and that it will come to you without the need for frantic effort or desperation. True self-worth is not based on accomplishments, possessions, or how others perceive you. It comes from the recognition that you are inherently valuable simply because you exist. You are a powerful being, capable of creating your reality through your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. When you understand this, you stop seeking validation from the outside world, and you begin to cultivate an inner sense of worth that is unshakable. This inner worth is not something that can be given to you by others, nor can it be taken away. It is a reflection of your consciousness. When you are rooted in a deep sense of self-worth, you understand that you are worthy of all that is good, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. This understanding frees you from the need to chase after things or people, for you know that what is meant for you will naturally come to you, arises from this recognition of self-worth. When you are detached, you are not indifferent or apathetic. Rather, you are free from the emotional bondage that often accompanies desire. You still want things, but you are not controlled by the need to have them. Detachment is the ability to hold your desires with an open hand, knowing that their fulfillment does not define your worth. You are complete and whole, whether or not the desired outcome manifests. Detachment also allows you to release the need for control. Often we believe that we must manage every detail, chase after every opportunity, and force outcomes in order to succeed. However, this mindset is rooted in fear and a sense of lack. It implies that we do not trust the natural flow of life or that we do not believe we are worthy of receiving what we desire effortlessly. In contrast, true detachment comes from a place of trust in ourselves in the process and in the unseen forces that are working on our behalf. When you are detached, you are not swayed by temporary setbacks or the appearance of lack. You remain centered in your own worth, knowing that what you desire is already yours in essence, and it will appear in your life when the time is right. This does not mean that you sit back and do nothing. It means that you take inspired action from a place of inner confidence, not from a place of desperation. You are not attached to the outcome because you already feel whole, and you trust that whatever happens is for your highest good. Detachment also protects your energy when you are attached to a specific outcome. You often invest emotional energy into something outside of your control. This can lead to feelings of anxiety, frustration, and disappointment. But when you are detached, you conserve your energy and focus it on cultivating your inner world, your beliefs, your imagination, and your sense of worth. This inner alignment naturally draws the right people, opportunities, and experiences to you without struggle. Self-worth and detachment go hand in, and when you recognize your inherent value, you no longer feel the need to cling to or control external outcomes. You trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you. You are free to live in the present, to enjoy life, and to rest in the assurance that all is well. The power lies in knowing that you are already whole and complete, and that everything else is simply a reflection of your inner state. Trust in the unseen is an essential principle of creation, a powerful act of faith in the invisible forces that shape our reality. It involves believing in outcomes that are not yet visible, relying on forces beyond the physical realm to bring about the fulfillment of our desires. The unseen world is where all creation begins. What you see with your eyes is merely the final manifestation of a process that started long before in the realm of thought and imagination. To trust in the unseen is to understand that this invisible realm is far more real and influential than the external world you perceive with your senses. Often we are conditioned to place our trust in what we can observe, touch, and measure. We are taught to believe that the physical world is the primary reality, and that we must work within its limitations to achieve our goals. Yet this belief is a misunderstanding of how life works. The physical world is not the cause of your experiences, but the effect. The true cause of everything you experience lies in your consciousness, in your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. These are the unseen forces that create your reality. Entrusting in the unseen means recognizing that just because something is not visible does not mean it is not real, or that it is not on its way to you the moment you imagine something and feel it to be true. You have set the process of creation into the unseen forces. Your thoughts, emotions, and subconscious mind begin to align with the vibration of your desire and work to bring it into physical reality. However, this process is often invisible in its early stages. You may not see any evidence of change right away, but that does not mean nothing is happening. The unseen is always at work, shaping, arranging, and bringing about the perfect conditions for your desire to manifest. One of the greatest challenges we face is to maintain trust when the outer world appears to contradict our inner vision. We might feel disheartened when circumstances seem to stay the same or when obstacles arise. Yet this is precisely when trust in the unseen is most crucial. The key is to remain unwavering in your belief that what you have imagined is already real in the unseen realm, and it is only a matter of time before it becomes visible. This kind of trust allows you to move through life with a sense of calm and certainty, knowing that everything is unfolding as it should. To trust in the unseen is to let go of the need for immediate proof. It is to release the urge to control every detail and to stop demanding constant evidence of progress. This does not mean being passive or doing nothing. It means that you act with confidence not out of desperation or fear, but from a place of inner knowing. You take inspired actions, knowing that the unseen forces are supporting you and that the outcome is already yours, even if you cannot see it yet. This trust in the unseen also involves understanding that there are forces at play far beyond your conscious awareness. You are part of a larger universal system where everything is interconnected. What may seem like a delay or an obstacle is often the universe aligning events and circumstances in ways that are beyond your understanding. Trusting in the unseen means having faith that things are always working out for your highest good, even if the path to your desired outcome takes unexpected turns in moments of doubt. Remember that the greatest transformations occur when you trust the process and remain aligned with your vision. Your task is not to force the outcome, but to stay aligned with the feeling of having already received it. Trusting in the unseen allows you to let go of worry, fear, and impatience. It invites you to rest in the knowledge that your desires are already in motion, and the physical world will eventually reflect what you have consistently imagined and believed. When you trust in the unseen, you tap into the true power that governs creation. The law of assumption is a fundamental principle of creation, stating that whatever you assume to be true in your inner world will manifest in your outer reality. It is based on the understanding that your assumptions, your deeply held beliefs and feelings, are the driving force behind everything that you experience. What you assume about yourself, your life, and the world around you shapes the circumstances, people, and events that come into your life. The key to using this law effectively is to recognize that the outer world is simply a reflection of your inner state, and by changing your assumptions, you change your reality at its core. The law of assumption operates on the premise that your consciousness creates your experience. The life you live is a direct result of what you believe to be true about yourself and the world. If you consistently assume success, abundance, love, or health, these qualities will eventually show up in your life. Conversely, if you assume lack, struggle, or failure, you will encounter circumstances that mirror those assumptions. The outer world does not cause your assumptions. It responds to them to activate the law of assumption. You must first become aware of the beliefs and assumptions you currently hold. Often people are unaware of the limiting assumptions that govern their lives. They may believe they are destined for mediocrity, or that they are unlucky in love, health, or finances. These assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious, create the framework for their experiences. The good news is that these assumptions are not fixed. You have the power to change them at any moment by consciously choosing new beliefs and assuming them to be true. The process of applying the law of assumption involves cultivating a state of mind in which you feel and act as though your desired outcome is already a reality. This is not about mere wishful thinking or blind optimism. It is about fully embodying the feeling of your desire as though it is already accomplished. For example, if you desire financial abundance, you must assume the state of being wealthy. You must imagine what it feels like to have the financial freedom you seek, and you must live in that feeling, even if your current reality does not reflect it. Yet by doing so, you align your consciousness with the state of abundance, and the outer world must conform to this new assumption. The power of the law of assumption lies in its simplicity. It does not require force, effort, or manipulation of external circumstances. It only requires a shift in your inner world. Once you assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled, you no longer need to worry about how or when it will manifest. The universe, through the unseen forces of creation, will arrange the necessary circumstances to bring your assumption into reality. Your only task is to maintain the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to trust the process. One of the most important aspects of the law of assumption is persistence. You must persist in your new assumption even in the face of contrary evidence. The physical world may take time to catch up with your new state of mind, and you may encounter moments where it seems as though nothing is changing. However, this is not a sign of failure. It is simply part of the process. The outer world is a lagging reflection of your inner state, and as you persist in your new assumption, the reflection will eventually change to match your new belief. The law of assumption empowers you to take control of your life by recognizing that you are the creator of your reality. Whatever you assume to be true, you will experience it is not dependent on luck, chance, or external factors. You have the ability to shape your destiny by choosing to assume the state of your desire. Desire as already fulfilled through this law. You can transform your life by transforming your beliefs, and in doing so, you unlock the limitless potential of your imagination. So resting in the knowing is an act of profound trust and certainty in the fulfillment of your desires. It means entering a state of calm confidence where you no longer feel the need to control or manipulate the outer world to bring about your desired outcomes. Instead, you rest in the quiet assurance that what you have imagined and believed is already real in the unseen realm and will manifest in due time. This state of knowing goes beyond me, a hope or wishful thinking. It is a deep inner conviction that what you seek is already yours, even if it is not yet visible in the physical world. When you rest in the knowing, you no longer feel the need to force or struggle to make things happen. You understand that creation begins within, and your outer reality is only a reflection of your inner state in this space. There is no room for doubt or fear because you are certain of the outcome. This certainty comes from understanding the power of your thoughts, beliefs, and assumptions to shape your world. You trust that the forces of creation are working in your favor even when you cannot yet see the results. To rest in the knowing is to detach from the how and when of your desires. Fulfillment. Often people become anxious and impatient, constantly looking for signs that their desires are manifesting. They may feel the urge to control every detail, fearing that without their intervention things will not turn out as they hope. However, this need for control comes from a place of insecurity and lack of trust in the process. When you rest in the knowing, you release the need for constant reassurance and allow the natural flow of life to unfold. You understand that there is a timing and order to everything, and that what is meant for you cannot be withheld in this state of rest. You live in the feeling of your desire already fulfilled. You no longer concern yourself with appearances that may seem contrary to your wish. The outer world may not yet reflect what you have imagined. But this does not shake your belief. You remain centered in your knowing understanding that the physical world is simply catching up to the state of consciousness you have assumed. By maintaining this inner feeling, you create a magnetic pull that draws your desires to you effortlessly, resting in. The knowing is also about inner peace. When you are constantly striving, worrying, or doubting, you create resistance to the very thing you want. But when you rest, you allow the universe to work on your behalf without interference. You remain calm and composed, trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly, even if you cannot see the entire picture. This peaceful state is not passive. It is an active trust in the unseen forces that govern creation. You are aligned with the natural rhythm of life, knowing that what you have planted in your mind will come to fruition. It's important to recognize that resting in the knowing does not mean doing nothing. It means taking inspired action when it feels right, but without the urgency or desperation that comes from a place of lack. You act confidently and with ease, knowing that you are guided and supported in the process. You are no longer driven by fear or anxiety, but by the quiet certainty that all is well. Resting in the knowing is about living from a place of inner security. You are not swayed by external circumstances or temporary setbacks, because you understand that your reality is shaped by your inner world. You trust that everything you need is already yours, and you allow it to come to you in its own time. This is a state of deep surrender where you are no longer chasing after your desires, but allowing them to come to you naturally, drawn by the power of your unwavering belief in conclusion. The power to create the life you desire lies within you by trusting in the unseeing. Cultivating a deep sense of self-worth and resting in the knowing that your desires are already fulfilled. You align yourself with the natural flow of creation. There is no need to chase, beg, or force outcomes. Everything you seek will manifest effortlessly when you embrace the principles of imagination, belief, and detachment. Your reality is a reflection of your inner state, and by consciously shaping your thoughts and assumptions, you unlock the limitless potential within. Thank you for embracing these truths and stepping into your role as the creator of your reality, the E.